everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of our podcast, More Than a Store, a podcast where we share the transformative impact Goodwill San Antonio has in our community. I'm your host, Libby Castillo, Director of Communications here at Goodwill San Antonio, and today we have a really fun show lined up for you. In this episode, we're recapping some of the moments of the year, and we couldn't have done it without our producer, Yvonne. She is our special guest for this last podcast of the year and our producer, so we're going to take a look back at the podcast that we did this year and some of the things that we learned, and we're going to talk about all the things we've done, and you know what, Yvonne? Welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, Libby. I'm so excited to be here. I know I work mostly behind the scenes, but I'm so excited to be here with you today. It's been a fun year so far.
Yeah. And you know, Yvonne, this podcast was a first for both of us. I've never hosted a podcast before and you've never produced one, but I'm really proud of the product that we've been able to create and that we've been able to create another avenue for us to share the mission and stories of Goodwill with our audience so that they can learn how we truly are more than a store.
Yes, Libby. So this podcast really has been a labor of love of mine and something I'm really passionate about. And I've enjoyed going across our organization to meet with team members from all the units, hearing their stories, and then bringing those stories back to the studio so everybody can hear them.
Yes, it's really been one of my favorite parts of what we do here in the podcast. Not only are we able to bring in some of our experts from our organization, but we get to hear from the team members and people who have been through our programs and truly learn about how they've been helped through our mission. You know, I mentioned that this podcast was the first for you and I, and it just goes to show that even you and I, are part of the Goodwill mission of changing lives through work. And, you know, even though we are really far into our careers and we've done a lot in our careers, we still have the ability to learn and grow. And Goodwill has given us that opportunity through this podcast.
Absolutely, Libby. And through this podcast, even I have learned more about all the incredible things Goodwill does. I've been here for going on 2 years, and I'm always still learning something new about Goodwill.
I hear you. And, you know, on our first episode, we heard from our very own boss, Jerry Adriano, and he gave us a full history on how Goodwill started and from its humble beginnings, how we're still continuing to change lives in our community. You know, he talked about in 1902 in Boston, Edgar J. Helms started Goodwill by, you know, collecting items from people's homes and teaching people how to sew them and repair them and then selling them back to the community. And that process still is in place today. And we're still helping people by giving them skills to learn and grow. And it's just incredible. And it truly rings true to our podcast, More Than a Store. So, you know, we started with a mission and we're continuing that work here. And it makes me so proud. And something that's really exciting here in San Antonio is that Goodwill San Antonio will be celebrating our 80th anniversary next year.
Yes!
Super exciting. And, you know, I think learning about the history of Goodwill was something that was really special to me. What was one of the most significant things that you learned during our podcast process?
You know what? The one thing I think I learned throughout this whole podcast year has got to be getting to really learn more about our team members. And I'm always out there going around all our different stores and units and meeting everybody. And everybody has a story here. And for a lot of our team members, Goodwill truly is so much more than just a job to them. It's really like an opportunity for them. A lot of our team members come from different backgrounds and all walks of life. And, you know, some of them are justice involved. And for a lot of them, Goodwill truly has given them a second chance.
Yeah, that is, I think what's so impactful is, you know, every day you and I speak to our team members, whether it's in their stores or through our business service units. And a lot of these people just have these wonderful telling stories to share with us and how Goodwill has made an impact in their lives. And I know you went out on the field and talked to some of our team members again for this final episode and asked them to share some of their favorite memories. So let's hear from one of them right now.
Yes.
Okay, guys, so we are here with Miss Nancy at Lackland Air Force Base, who works on grounds maintenance here at the base. And Nancy, tell us, what is your favorite memory of the year?
The memory of my year was Robert. He was a good boss. We always had a schedule done all the time. I miss him a lot. He passed, so I'm doing this for him.
So, you know, we heard from Miss Nancy and, you know, sadly she lost one of her friends, but, you know, that just goes to show kind of the community that people build here at Goodwill and the kind of friends and family that they develop here within our walls. And it's just so powerful to hear that even though it was a sad memory, it was something that impacted her. And she was really proud to share that story with us. You know, our podcast is called More Than the Store, right? And our second podcast, we heard from Angelique de Oliveira, and she kind of gave us a glimpse into the work that they do in that department to provide good jobs, career training, and employment placement services to our community. And you actually spoke to one of our graduates.
Yes, we did speak to a graduate, and we have another little clip for you to hear right now.
Hello, my name is Matthew Rodriguez, and I am so thankful for Goodwill. Thank you, Good Careers Academy, for helping me get my CDL, and thank you for Mr. Andy for being so patient with me and encouraging me when I didn't think I was going to make it. Thank you, Ms. Denise Sosa, for getting me started in this program and seeing my way through it. I can't thank you all enough. Thank you for letting me be here.
A big thing that we do here at Goodwill is not only to give them the certification, but we work really hard, right, to place them into careers. So our team within our workforce development department, they really, really do try to make sure that these individuals have jobs after they complete their certification. So it's something to be very proud of.
Is there one person who really stood out to you this year, a personal story that really touched you and has affected you?
So there have been a lot of people that I've met through Goodwill, our team members and program participants and, you know, everyone that we've worked with. But one that really sticks out to me is my friend, Eric Warman from Kerrville. He is the nicest guy. And, you know, I know he has a story to tell, and he's come from a background that was challenging, and just to see the growth and the joy that he has. He does production at our Kerrville store, and we went to go visit the Kerrville store this past year, and just to see the dedication that he had. Like, he would not take a break and talk to us, but he was working so hard, and there was just so much joy in his face. And we got to meet his family, and we got to meet his wife, and I saw him go through the leadership development program that we have here at Goodwill, and I was just beaming with pride, you know, to see him go up there and, you know, speak in front of a large group. There must have been 50 people in that room, and just to see the growth that Goodwill has given him the opportunity to do. And then, you know, his wife said some really nice things about what Goodwill does for him. And it just really puts it into perspective that we truly are doing a lot for the community.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was actually in that same leadership development class with Eric, and we would do practice speeches during that class, and he was like, he truly believes in the mission of Goodwill and like is living proof of the mission. And he says that I am, you know, Goodwill, like Goodwill truly does help change lives through the power of work. Like, he's so passionate about that.
Yeah. And so I'm so proud of him. So I can't wait to work with him some more and continue to become his friend.
Yes, that's a good person. Yeah.
How about you? Did you meet anybody this year?
Oh my gosh, so many people. I go around all across Goodwill, and one person that really stood out to me has to be Mr. Jason Dotson. So Jason works at one of our attendant donation stations, which isn't a store. It's just a location where you can come, drive through, and donate your items. So he's been working there for a while, and it's just him and another team member. But Jason used to have substance abuse issues, and he used to struggle with that. And now that he's been at Goodwill, he's found stable employment, and he's very happy there, and he loves his customers, and he's always happy. Like, he's truly always happy.
Yeah. No, I've met Jason, and I met his wife, Sierra, as well.
Yes.
She works in one of our stores, and they're always so involved in all the activities that we do at Goodwill. You know, so we do some community engagement activities. You know, we did the turkey trot with the food bank on Thanksgiving.
Yes, he was at the turkey trot. And and he did it with Carlos. Carlos was there too.
Our CEO, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. He was actually at a Going Above luncheon as well. So I just recently saw him, so it was good to see him.
Yeah. And, we do like to provide all of these other opportunities for team members to kind of get to know each other. And, because we do get very busy. We have people that work in stores. We have 24 stores across our counties. We try to create these opportunities for them to get together. And in one of our podcasts, we talked to Melissa Curiel, and she oversees our DEI, which is our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion panel. And they put together these wonderful events and these wonderful volunteer opportunities. So it's been nice to see, and we get to meet a lot of our team members that way as well. And, Melissa's interview during her podcast just really shed a light on the importance of not only getting the education of DEI here at Goodwill, but how it brings us all together. And it's just been so nice that we've been able to meet so many team members that way as well.
Yes, there's always so many events, DEI events here at Goodwill. And it's true what you said, that it'd be through those events I'm able to meet so many other team members from across all of Goodwill. So.
Yeah, and you were at one not that long ago in November, and let's hear from somebody from the team. It was our Veterans Luncheon.
Yes, it was our Veterans Luncheon. It was a big turnout, so yeah, we got a lot of good clips.
My name is George Henigman. I was in the Air Force for 20 years. I retired as a Master Sergeant. I was a personnelist. Well, I've seen a lot of our employees that work for our prior service, and whether they have disabilities or not, they hire them because of that status. They equal opportunity. Everybody's got a shot at it, which is good. And there are veterans that do have disabilities that come out. Some people don't want to hire them because of the fact that Goodwill does, and they in the forefront of it. So they do a wonderful job with the veterans and with the disabled community.
So, Libby, we've heard from a few people of what their 2024 work memory was. So for you, I know you work with our community a lot and you're really front facing. A lot of people know you and recognize you. So I want to know what is your favorite sort of 2024 work memory of the year?
This might sound a little cheesy, but it has been to see the growth of my own team.
Aww.
I've seen you grow by doing this podcast, and then you did participate in the leadership development program we have here.
Yes, I did. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and I know it was a big commitment. It was extra work on top of the tons of work that you do here for Goodwill, but you were able to stick it through, and you did it, and you graduated, and I was just so proud to see you do that.
Thank you, Libby. Yes, and I was like, that's actually one of my favorite 2024 work memories too. Well, my memory, but yeah, so I did the LDP class, which is a leadership development class open to team members here at Goodwill. And it's put on by our training and development team. So that was definitely fun. I learned a lot. I feel like I grew a lot. I'm excited for 2025. I know, like you mentioned before, we're going into our 80th anniversary. We have a lot of fun things planned. Goodwill has a lot of fun things planned. So I'm excited for what the new year has in store for us.
I'm excited too. I think another thing that what's made me really proud about this podcast is shedding a light on the many things that we do at Goodwill that people may not know about. Like, we have a contract services department.
Yes.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And, we had William here. He's the VP of our business services department. And, it was nice to hear about all the work that they do. That we have landscapers out there that work at the...
Yes. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, we have trucks out there working at the military bases, Lackland, Camp Bullis. Yeah, it's incredible. Even like Frost Bank Center. So it's a big deal. Yeah, we have a lot of team members there.
Yeah, and I love what we do through our Ability One program, that we're able to support people with documented disabilities through our federal contracts to hire people with documented disabilities, to give them a chance to work and to provide for their families. And William really did share a lot of information on that. So if anybody's interested in hearing that podcast, please look that up, because it was a lot of information and a lot of things that people do not know that Goodwill does.
Yes. And then also I want to do a shout out to Mr. Brian Lowry. He works in our business services unit. He works at the NACO location doing medical records, and he's part of the Ability One program. And we recently featured him this year as part of one of the Smiles of Goodwill series. And Brian's story was that he used to work at a jail and he really had like PTSD from working there.
Wow.
So he quit his job. He decided, you know what, this sort of lifestyle is not for me. And now he found a job at Goodwill and he said that he's so much happier. He's really like more peaceful at home. And so Goodwill has truly changed his life. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And, we've mentioned Smiles of Goodwill a couple of times in our podcast. So for the listeners who may not be familiar, we have this collection of stories that you work and our team works very hard on to develop. And those are all found on our social media. You can find them all on our website. So if you want to hear some more of these impactful stories that you didn't get to hear through the podcast, please visit our website at goodwillsa.org and look up those stories or follow us on our social media.
Give us a follow, guys. Goodwill SA.
We're always sharing these impactful stories, and we'd love for you all to continue to learn more through our social media and our website because we've got a lot of stories to share. And again, our 80th is coming up. We're going to share even more stories during our 80th anniversary.
Yes. Yeah. Please give us a follow and a like. We're always pushing out fun content, inspiring stories. So definitely give us a like and follow, guys.
Yeah. Yvonne, it's been so great chatting with you and going down memory lane of our first podcast together.
Thank you so much for having me here, Libby. I am super excited to sort of sit on this side of the mic now. So thank you.
Yeah. And just like we've done in all of our other podcasts, we like to ask our guests one final question, which is, what is the one thing you would want people to know about Goodwill?
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. If I had to pick one thing, I would say, you know what? I really want people to know that Goodwill truly is so much more than a store. Like, seriously, we're more than just getting your thrift finds, which I love thrifting, but Goodwill truly is helping change lives through the power of work. And if you could see the students who come through our academies and our career centers, we truly are doing so much good for our community.
Yeah, thank you for that. And you just fit right into the name of our podcast, More Than a Store.
Truly, literally, more than a store.
Thank you so much, Yvonne, for joining us on this side of the table and not in the booth.
Thank you, Libby.
It's been a really good time. And thank you for our listeners for tuning into our podcast. This is the last one for the year. We're looking forward to seeing you next year. But join us next time as we continue our journey of taking you behind the scenes at Goodwill and sharing with you how we are truly more than a store. The podcast is produced by our multimedia designer, but on this side of the stage today, Miss Yvonne Byrd. But we want to thank our entire marketing and communications team here at Goodwill San Antonio for all of their hard work in putting this and all of our other episodes together. And we want to share a special thanks to our friends here at Texas Public Radio for allowing us to record this episode right here in their studio in beautiful downtown San Antonio. From one nonprofit to another, thank you so much. We're truly grateful for your support. For more information about this episode, check out the show notes on the More Than a Store website at goodwillsa.org. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Goodwill SA. Thanks again for listening, everyone. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.